Hey everybody, back from the con. Want to hear about it? Let's do a week in review. Hello, well I'm back in Western New York. It was the best con that I've been to, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You know, I've been to some cons recently and they're good and they're fun and everything, but this one was just magical. I don't know, it's because I traveled to get to it and there were some flight issues with United and then Delta on the way home, but all that aside, it was a great trip. The con was really fun. I mean, even if I hadn't gotten any stuff, and I'll show in a little bit, I got some great stuff, but just the vibe of that con was very upbeat. The dealers, for the most part, were good. I mean, you're always going to have the guys that are kind of negative, but for the most part, it was pretty good. And I don't think once I got that, guy, mouth breathing, bumping into you like you do at a lot of other cons. People are very respectful. You'd be going through a box and they would wait their turn. A couple occasions I'd be going through a box and they would notice what I was pulling and they would say, hey, you want this? That kind of a thing. So that I've never experienced at a con before. Usually it's just these backpack guys and they just kind of wedge their way in and push in. There was some of that at some of the smaller booths, but for the most part it was really great. And it was very much a comic book show, convention. There was cosplay there and there was some neat panels. I'll show one in a minute. But it was very much a Comic-Con, and I enjoyed it a lot. It was extra special because Mike and Anthony met me down there. We were all there together on Saturday. Mike and I were there all 3 days. Anthony came in late Friday night, so we got to hang out at the con all day. We all kind of went around together, and we'd go off sometimes on little missions, and then we'd meet back up and discuss what we did. And then, oh, I saw that book over there at this booth, and we'd go over together. And Mike goes to so many of these cons that he knows all these guys on first name basis. So some of the places where you go, where you have to stand in front of their boxes and look at their wall books. But Mike kind of gets VIP access, so Anthony and I were granted the same thing. So we'd get to walk right up and look right at the things, take the books right off the rack ourselves. So that was really great, having that. It was kind of an advantage for sure. We did a lot of buying the first day. Second day was, for me, was just trying to take it all in more. I did some more buying, but for the most part it was taking things in and helping Anthony get the books that he was really hunting after. And I'm pretty sure he got everything on his list. And I think one pretty big surprise book for him that he wasn't expecting that we got right at the end of the day on Saturday. And Mike filled his bag, of course, I think all 3 days. So he did very good. And then Saturday night we all we went out to dinner, and then we all met out at a place called Fahrenheit. It's on the 21st floor of a hotel, which was real fun. We were there, I don't know, probably till 10:30, almost 11 o'clock. We got up and got right back at it the next day. I think Anthony drove home. But it was a great con. I really enjoyed it. I got to talk to a lot of the newer artists and creators, which was kind of fun because I don't read those books. So just to kind of come up, I think it was probably refreshing to them that somebody that doesn't read their stuff just appreciate what they had out. It was kind of fun just to talk to them and go through their creative process. I did go to a panel on Sunday. It was a special. It wasn't really advertised or anything. Chris Claremont showed up, and I don't think he showed up until maybe Thursday night on the website that he was going to be there, so that was kind of a surprise guest. So he and Bob McLeod did a what they called a Father's Day special yesterday, where it was a panel about the creation of the New Mutants and the direction it's gone and how the movie is and what they thought of it, and it was really good. I have a little bit of footage from each of them, and I'll show that right now. So watch it and then come right back, or fast forward through it if you don't care and watch the end of this. So
19, and Kitty is a kid, so it's like, why are we going to school? We're like grown-ups, most of them. And it was felt we had to get back to the school thing because, let's face it, Charlie has nothing to do. Other than get seduced and abandoned by an intergalactic potentate. at the same time, another cadre of writers was thinking of establishing a school for gifted youngsters on the West Coast that would, you know, basically steal all our thunder. And Louise and I basically, expressing ourselves in a forthright and unambiguous manner, said no effing way. So we didn't say F, we actually used the word. And that was where, that was good, you know, got our thinking caps on. And from my perspective, it was, okay, we're going for kids. Let's go for cool kids, i.e. kids who weren't North American white people, to make them different from the original X-Men. So, because the original brief for Uncanny was to go international, we did it as much as possible, but in this instance, okay, we would
decision, but I went with the New Mutants. And Chris had these characters in mind, and I don't know if you remember, but I said, I like to draw girls. Let's have more girls on the team than guys for a change. Because up to that point, every other superhero team had mostly guys with like a token female or two. And so we had more female characters, and I started doing some little quick sketches of what they might look like. We didn't know if Roberto was gonna grow big like the Hulk when he used his powers. We finally decided, oh, it's already the Hulk, he doesn't need to do that. I didn't know if Sam...
He's only 13 anyway. So, you know, he can grow.
Yeah. And I think he did with some other artists. My idea was to have Roberto be a little short guy, my height.
A little Brazilian firecracker.
Yeah, a little Brazilian guy that was not 6 foot tall and like Superman. I wanted him to look like normal kids, like any kid that I knew who might have superpowers. And my idea for each one of them, so I had a different body type in my mind for each one of them. I wanted Danny, since she was a Native American, I wanted her to be kind of athletic looking, kind of slender and a little taller and athletic. I wanted Rain to be more short and full-figured. I wanted Sam to be kind of awkward in his own body as a coal miner, teenager.
And ridiculously tall.
And very much taller than Roberto. They did a mini-series later on with a different artist who made them both the same height, same body build. I was cringing, but you know, once you leave the book, what can you do?
Well, if you watched it, great. If not, and you fast forwarded it, that was a quick second for you. Anyway, so you know, the con itself, it was laid out very, very well, very wide, open. They had a nice concession stand, lots of bathrooms. The line wasn't bad at all. You had to wait, and most of the time you were indoors, air conditioned, because it was in the 90s down in Charlotte, so it wasn't too bad. You know, it's funny, on my down there, I don't think I looked at eBay once. You know, I peeked at my stuff that I had up for sale on Thursday before I left. But it's just funny how you see things. And I don't know if it's just the hot books, but I'm noticing a trend that it looks like eBay, for the first time that I remember since I've gotten back in 2013, it looks like for, you know, really hot books like, say, a Fantastic Four 48, the con prices, I think, are actually less than what I'm seeing online right now. I mean, it's a couple $100 less. So there's something, I don't know, maybe it's just me noticing it, but maybe it's always been there. But usually in the past, you could go to a con and prices were jacked up on key books. And I think some of it might be that those books are moving so fast right now that they're at the cons, so they didn't have time to see that this or that jumped up. I know Eternals was everywhere. Everyone had it up on their wall, and everyone had like 100 to 150 on that book. And I saw one kid had a backpack. He must have had 30. They look like all low-grade copies to me, but I mean, if the Celestials appear in a movie, I guess those books will probably be worth 40, 50 bucks. So good for him, I guess. I mean, that's all he had in his backpack, and he was on a mission. I saw him at 3 different booths, and that's all I saw him buying was Eternals for like 10, 15 bucks, 20 bucks, 30 bucks, whatever he can get them for. He didn't buy any of the expensive ones up on the wall, but that's a book that I think is going so fast that I don't think a lot of dealers even knew. I saw several up on the wall for probably 60 bucks, 50, 60 bucks. That I looked when I got home yesterday. They're probably selling for over $200. So it's funny how fast the market is right now, and it's odd. Just something I noticed. I don't know if it's a real thing or not, but I'll get right to my pickups. As you know, I love treasuries, and this is one I don't remember. I don't remember when this came out, but it's number 28, and it's Superman and Spider-Man. And then it has kind of a backup story with the Hulk in it too, and Wonder Woman's in it as well, and it's got Doctor Doom and the Parasite in it. So the art pencils were done by John Buscema, and then there's about 30 inkers on this, I noticed, and Terry Austin and Bob McLeod did a lot of the inking, so I can't wait to dig into this. It already looks decent. It doesn't look like it's as simple or silly as the first one was, which I didn't really enjoy. I tried to read it again. I remember enjoying it as a kid, but I didn't enjoy it. I picked up Savage Tales 1, and really, I'm not a huge Conan fan, but the reason I got it is because of its first appearance of Man-Thing. So I saw this guy had it up on his wall. He had it for 75 bucks. I ended up buying a stack of books from him, so I think I remember I pretty much got this for free. So it's a okay copy. I'd say this is probably a 6.5. So that's good enough for me. It'll go in with the rest of my magazines. I can't wait to read it. I've never read the original. So then the rest of these books are either books for me to fill holes or just books that I think were great prices, and I grabbed them. So this one is really, really sharp. Where Monsters Dwell 6. It's the first appearance of Groot. Now, it's the reprint of the original, but this one still fetches quite a bit. So I saw it at a great price, and I bundled it in, and I ended up getting that in several others. Anytime I see this book and it's clean and at a decent price, I grab it. Marvel Spotlight 2, it's the first appearance of Werewolf by Night. And this one's in real nice shape. The only real blemish it has is a little spot near the top staple right there. But other than that, it's in great shape, and this is one I'll keep. I sent my other two off to get slabbed, so that one will be kept in my collection. And then I found all the Swamp Things I needed to complete my run. So I got number 4. Let's see. Pristine, gorgeous condition. Great, great cover. Bernie Wrightson covers, awesome. And then as I was going through another stack, I came across, Mike and I were going through these boxes, and we both were surprised that I came across this book here. And if you look close, it's got Bernie Wrightson's signature on it. And I'm not a big signature chaser, but I love this cover. This is my favorite Swamp Thing cover, actually, number 9. And then to have that signature on it's great. So I have probably like a 9.2, 9.4 copy, and I'll probably just either slab that and sell it, or just sell it raw. Then the last one I needed for my run was number 13, I'm sorry. Really cool cover, coming out of the grave. I only collect Swamp Thing up until the point to where the logo changes, and I think the writers and the artists are different, so I'll collect that. Following forward with my Weird Western Tales, I got number 14. Just a really cool cover. It's not bad enough they staked him so he's going to dry out in the sun and die. Now the snake's got to come and get him. It's very simple, great 20-cent, beautiful book. I get this book a lot too when I see it, because I think at some point the light bulb's going to go off, and it may have already happened, but because I saw these on a lot of walls. Captain Marvel 18. It's where Carol Danvers actually gets her powers. And this guy's machine gets activated, and her DNA gets spliced with Marvel. That's essentially where she gets her abilities. Marvel Superheroes 13 is her first appearance as Carol Danvers, and she's it's more or less a cameo. Speaking of cameos, I picked this book up on Sunday. It was just kind of hanging out there, and Mike and I both saw it, and I think it's probably a 9.0, at least an 8.5. It does got a little bit of, there is some roller marks on the upper part here, and that's part of the printing process. Sometimes you'll see them if you look closely. They almost look like little dashes. They do press right out though, so. But this is a beautiful book. It's a beautiful shape, just razor sharp corners, great color. And for me, this is his first appearance, but I guess that'll be an argument forever. Then I got this, Charlton Comics, Charlton 66. You'll appreciate this. This guy had 40 bucks on it, but we ended up working out a pretty good deal on it, and it's a flawless copy. It's the $6 Million Man. And as a kid growing up in the Bronze Age in the 70s, this is just a great book to have. Awesome. Great painted cover. Now this one I had, and it just completes my Commandy run. I wasn't happy with my Commandy 29, so this was floating in a box, and I made a deal with this guy, and I ended up getting this book and the other one for free, basically. So the other one I needed was to complete the run was number 35. It's a Joe Kubert cover. Kirby was still doing the story, and I think some of the layouts up until 36, so that's as high as I go on Commandy, is 36, but I'm done with Commandy. Another run I completed was Astonishing Tales. Fin Fan Foom. I needed issue 24, and it was just sitting in the box, half off, so I got it for 10 bucks. But this another one's flawless. This is a 9.2, maybe a 9.4. Just perfect, perfect copy. And then I got into some good stuff here, stuff that I was really chasing after. I grabbed this because it's the second appearance of Captain America. Now everyone gets it because of the fight, but I like it because Captain America. It's Fantastic Four 25. There's a fight in there. It's decent with the Hulk and thing. I've never been happy with that artwork of the Hulk. Just kind of weird looking to me. But it's a really nice book. I'd say this is probably a 6.5. Maybe a 7 on a good day, but it doesn't matter because it's staying with me. Then the next two are part of the trilogy that I've been hunting down. And this one is an absolutely beautiful copy of Fantastic Four 49. I'd say it's at least an 8.0. And again, this one's going to be staying with me, so it doesn't really much matter. I love it. Beautiful. It's going to get opened up and smelled and read. This one has a kind of a cool date stamp on it. It's handwritten, and it's the last part of the trilogy. Dan Glare, Silver Surfer, third appearance, number 50, and then Johnny Goes to College. And a smart jacket. It's kind of a neat date stamp right there on his arm. But it's one I wanted to get. I did look at several 48s, none of which I was willing to pay the price. There's a pretty well-known dealer named Harley Yee. He had a nice, I'd say probably maybe a 5.0, but he wanted $800 for it. I don't know. I just feel that's too much for that book, but time will tell. It was probably foolish of me not to grab it. There were a lot of slab copies of it. I think Mike grabbed at least one copy of it. But I by the end of the show Sunday, I didn't really see any left on anyone's walls. So that book pretty much sold out. Of course, Hulk 181 was flying off the shelves. I saw one dealer had 10 of them, ranging from 3.5, I think, up to 8.5, and almost all. I think he had 3 left. So they're flying off the shelf. The usual Spider-Man 129. But the first appearance of Fin Fang Foom was one that I was surprised. I think that's Astonishing Tales 89. I don't remember the number. I think that's the number, but that one was on a lot of shelves, I noticed. So it's kind of fun to see what people put up on their panels. Pretty interesting stuff. I have a bunch of other footage too of the con, and I don't know how I'll arrange this once I edit this video, but I'll drop it in here and there probably. Like maybe right here would be a good spot to drop something in. But for today's sermon, it's just something I thought of walking around at the con. Getting all this stuff was fantastic. Being at the con was fun. But what made it so much better, and what I think why it was so much more magical, is what today's kind of thoughts, I guess, or sermon are, is sharing makes stuff better. It just does. And I'm not telling anything you don't know, but it made the con so much more fun, so much more enriched. To meet Mike and Anthony's significant others, and my wife got to meet them too, and it was just kind of fun, hanging out Saturday night and going around with the guys, and we would go on our little missions and then meet back up and see what you got. And in a lot of ways, you kind of felt like a little kid again. And I think this hobby in particular does that with you. Kind of brings out the kid in you, and seeing these books and seeing what they got. I mean, seeing the elation on Anthony's face when there's a couple books, and I'm sure he'll shoot a video and he'll show them that he got that. it was as good as if I got it. And I always get that when I'm with Mike too, because it's fun to watch Mike buy, because he's very focused, and he'll go in and he'll just line up a stack of pretty high grade books, you know, high keys, and you know, make a deal for him. And it's just fun to watch. But he actually was able to find some pre-code horror books that he likes a lot, and it's not often you see them. I would say ECs, I've seen more ECs at this show just sitting in boxes. There's guys that had half boxes, you know, short boxes, or full short boxes full. Normally you see one or two up on the wall, but at this show they were, there was ECs everywhere. Decent prices and pretty high grades. There was one dealer in particular, Dale Roberts, and I'll put a link to him below. He had a lot of really nice ECs. I'd say at least in 7.0 grade, you know, all in the $300 to $500 range. So really, really nice stuff. There's a couple in particular. I'm not a huge EC collector. I tend to go more towards the science fiction end of things with EC, but there are a few horror books that I think I might go after at the next show or next opportunity that I see them. So as always with my collecting, I'm always evolving. So sorry, I just looked up and I look kind of tired. Well, I got in around 1:30 last night, so a little bit sleepy. It's not jet lag. I don't know what it is. Same time zone. I'm just tired, I guess, from all the walking and all the calculations that go on in your brain when you're walking through a con and trying to buy something. But today's homework is pretty simple. I'm going to put links to all of the dealers, and you'll see some of them in the video that I'll put in here. But I'll put links to all of them down below. Some of them have their own website, but I would say check them out. I bought from all of them that I'll link down below, and I purchased from some of them in the past, like Super World, Ted Van Loo. He's been in business for a long, long time, so it was nice to meet all those guys that I've spoken to on the phone. Because a lot of times what I'll do is I'll see their listings on eBay, and then I'll just pick the phone up and call them, and you know, just work a deal out where they don't have to pay the eBay fee and PayPal and all that kind of stuff. So it works out for both of us. I get the book at a lower price, and they don't have to worry about eBay and all that stuff. So, but I'll put a link to them below. Check them out. They're all really, really good dealers. And I have some CGC stuff coming back. I think 2 shipments, Mike and I do, and then altogether I think I have about 85 books coming back. I know Mike has a couple hundred coming back, so we'll be doing more CGC unboxings this summer. So stay tuned, I guess. I think that's probably all I got for you today. I really don't have any recommendations because I didn't watch anything. I'm still reading Challenges of the Unknown. It's really good. And I guess until next time, life, liberty, and the pursuit of comics, and the pursuit of sharing the hobby. I'll see y'all next time. Bye. Hello everybody. Well, I made it here safe and sound. Here's the floor. Now it's off to go find Mike. I already ran into 2 dealers from up in Western New York that recognized me, so that was kind of cool. I didn't even get in the entrance. But here we are. Let's check in a little bit. Got Mike making a deal. Pretty cool stuff. Now don't get any cooler than that. I'd trade my truck for that. There he is, the great Jim Steranko. He's schooling a younger guy on some stories there the kid had backwards. Pretty funny stuff. Hello again, everybody. Just bought a stack of books from Leroy here. Great deals. Look for him online. Good guy. Hey, look who I found. 15. Say hey, boys.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Anthony.
We're spending Anthony's money right now.
For now, then we're gonna get to Patrick. Patrick's the one with the big bucks.
Empty out my. I don't have big bucks anymore. Anyway, look what he's getting.
That is pretty book.
A video of Anthony manning up for a book. Spending money on.
That is, right? Wrote that down?
I did.
Okay. All right.
Well, last day of the con. Went to a couple panels today. Mike and Anthony. Anthony left yesterday, and Mike left about an hour ago. Just going around, kind of trying to hit the last minute things. Talking to a few artists, a few writers. I just was on New Mutants panel I watched with Chris Claremont and Bob McLeod. It's really, really good. I captured a little bit of that. There's Dave and Adams up in Buffalo. They're a fantastic dealer. Met a lot of good dealers here, so I'll be looking for them at my next con. See y'all. Well, another con comes to a close. Anyway, see y'all back in New York. I guess it's a PS I forgot to mention. I ran into a bunch of you at the con, and it was great. People came up and said hello. Some just said, hey, you know, I enjoy your channel. One family, we talked for a while. I looked at their son's artwork that he brought with him, and we took photos. And a couple guys I'd run into several times, and I tried to steer them one way, tell them, like, what are you looking for? And they'd tell me, and I'd say, well, I saw that over at that place. And it was just a lot of fun seeing everybody. People recognize Mike and Anthony, of course. A couple of the YouTubers I was hoping to meet down there, Alan and I, we just couldn't find each other. So, Alan, probably until next year, I guess I'll just see your hands in your videos, and you'll have to watch me on YouTube. But you know, I haven't watched some of the other guys on there. I think that were down there. So I don't know if they saw me, didn't see me, or I didn't recognize anybody else. But it was fun seeing everybody, and thanks for stopping in. And if you're watching this, please comment down below so everyone can see your channels and link to you, and I can link to you if I'm not already subbed to you. So just wanted to bring that up real quick. So until next time, I'll see y'all. Bye.